From Studio K at Foxborough Cable Access.
Saffron is essentially the stamen of a rose.
Feeling creative?
Sage has a great flavor.
Is your palate needing a new challenge? Well, let's cook with Mike Damasio.
Hello everybody, welcome to Let's Cook with Mike Damasio. Our past shows have always been with dinner entrees, lunch entrees, sides. Today we're going to work on my favorite meal today, which is breakfast. I love breakfast. It's my favorite meal of the day. I like it when whether it's healthy for you or unhealthy for you. It is just so delicious and gets the day started off right. So I'm going to do a few of my favorites for you today. So the first thing I learned to cook when I was a kid was French toast. My parents were on vacation. We had my cousin and her husband were watching us, and he showed me how to cook French toast. So I'm going to take French toast and we're going to dial it up a bit and do a little twist to it today. And I'm going to show you some crunchy raspberry stuffed French toast. It's very simple, again, simple ingredients, things you should have around the house. And so let's cook. Get my gloves on here. So very simple. We're going to start with some basic ingredients. We have some eggs and butter. The bread, of course, for the French toast. These are cornflakes. You can use Special K or cornflakes, anything you like. Really a non-sugary cereal is the best, a flake cereal. Milk for the eggs. We have some vanilla and cinnamon for seasoning. We have, of course, the raspberries for the stuffing. And we're going to do a little sugar glaze on top when it's all done with some fresh whipped cream as well. So let's get going. So the first thing I'm going to do is just crumble up my cornflakes so they're fine and powdery. This is really delicious. I mean, when you see this in the end, it can almost be a dessert. Scramble up some eggs with the milk. Get rid of these. All right, a little bit of milk. And the whip. All right. I'm going to scramble up these eggs. I'm going to put a dash of cinnamon in here and vanilla to flavor. Very nice. Again, this is a real simple meal. It's a nice color, real nice aroma. Very simple. You want to beat the eggs really nice so they stick to it sticks to the bread. And I have white bread here, but you can really use any kind of bread. Wheat bread. A great bread for this is raisin bread. Cinnamon raisin bread really makes this a really tremendous meal. Okay. Let's go. We're going to butter our pan here. Already nice and sizzling. Real easy. Get a lot of butter in there because we're going to do some frying. We're going to take our crumbs. We're going to dip our bread in the egg batter and then coat it in our flakes. This is a great way to get your kids to eat fruit in the morning too, because it's sugary and it's fruity. We're just going to put that on there to brown. Second piece. A real simple meal, real simple meal. Get this to brown. All right, we're going to cast these aside and we're going to make our filling here for these. And again, very simple. Change out my gloves. Very simple. Just have some really beautiful fresh raspberries. Obviously not in season this time of year. As soon as the snow melts, all the vegetables and fruits will be coming up nice and fresh. I recommend going to farms and getting the freshest produce you can. A lot of great local farms around here. Okay, so with these, I'm just going to do a light chop on them, just to get them a little mushy so they're spreadable. This is, oh, should have moved those eggs. blooper reel. There's one for the blooper reel. All right. Okay. Flip these over. Get a nice brown color on those. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make some whipped cream for the topping of it. All right. So what I've been doing is I've got my bowl nice and cold to make whipped cream. You really want to have a nice cold bowl, or if you don't put the bowl in the freezer, you can put this bowl with a bowl of ice underneath it. You want a really cold bowl to make whipped cream. Reach into my refrigerator, have some basic heavy whipping cream, very simple. I'm just going to make a little bit of whipped cream here. I'm going to throw a little bit of vanilla in here for flavor. And a little bit of powdered sugar. So this takes the most time. It's just going to be a lot of whipping until the whipped cream gets thick. But you'll see in a matter of no time this will get nice and thick. And again, it's a great topping for this meal. Just have to continue to whip. Eventually this will thicken up while our French toast is browning. It's looking good, smelling good. Just gonna flip these over as they get browner. Very nice. This takes a little bit of work. Take some time. It will come together, I promise. So again, you know, when my family was away, French toast I was taught to make the French toast, and I really thought it was a food from the heavens. It was so delicious, so cinnamony, and there's nothing better than putting real maple syrup on top. I know a lot of people buy the Aunt Jemima, or it's only 5 or 10% of maple syrup, but buying the 100% maple syrup really adds to the flavor of the meal. I recommend it for everything. Oh, the whipped cream's starting to thicken up a little bit. And now I'm going to make, with our powdered sugar here, I'm going to make a little cinnamon glaze. Turn down our dish here. So the glaze here, powdered sugar. You don't need a lot of water to get this nice and thick. But what we're going to make here is kind of a glaze that's going to go on top of this dish. You want it to become almost like Elmer glue consistency. So as you can see, it's nice and thick. Pours off nicely. And that's done. That takes just a minute. That's just a simple sugar glaze. Come on, whipped cream. All right, so while that is, again, thickening, we're going to take this raspberry filling, put it right on the French toast. So we're going to do some other things today as well. We're going to make blueberry and strawberry crepes, and we're also going to make corned beef hash. And we'll show you, it'll be 3 great dishes for breakfast, nice and easy and simple. As you can see, the French toast is looking good. I'm going to grab a plate here. The whipped cream isn't coming together. Thicken. All right, let's pull this off. Give this a cut. Beautiful. I'm going to take our sugar glaze here. Nice little drizzle. Well, good chefs always have a backup plan when things don't work. Here's our backup plan for the whipped cream that won't come together. Cool Whip. All right. Ooh, spoon right here. A little dollop right there. And there we go. So that's dish number 1 for today. We'll be right back to get to dish number 2, which will be blueberry and strawberry crepes. All right, we're back with our second breakfast meal for the day. It's going to be strawberry blueberry crepes. Really great dish, real easy to do. If you remember back, if you've watched the show before, we made a manicotti with a crepe. This time we're just going to sweeten it up a little bit, and so that it's more breakfasty, we'll say. So we have the milk, water, and flour to make the crepe, a little bit of vanilla for flavoring, and butter. And we're going to get going. Ready? Let's cook. All right, so I'm going to put all my ingredients here in my bowl to get the crepe prepared. Blend in the milk and water slowly so that you can get a nice smooth consistency with the flour. And you can always adjust. You want to make sure that it's thinner than a pancake batter, but not too thin and not too thick, because you don't want a thick pancake. You want a nice thin crepe. So you can see the mixture thinning out. Again, another great way to get kids to eat fruit in the morning. I don't worry too much about giving young kids sugar in the morning. They're young, they're going to work it off. I don't recommend it late at night. Then you get them up all night running around the house. Alright, we have a nice thin consistency. Going to add a little bit of vanilla for flavor. A few drops. And some butter. This is just melted 2 tablespoons of butter. Right in there. And I'm going to crack some eggs right in there. This is going to give you a really nice crepe mix. With crepes, you want to get your pan nice and hot, which I've already started to do. You don't need much butter or oil to work a crepe. The heat should separate it from the pan nice and easily. And you want to get it as nice and thin as possible. You'll see how I'm going to roll the batter in the pan to keep it nice and thin. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of butter in there just to get it going. Give it a quick wipe out, just to season the pan a little bit. And now, with my spoon, I'm going to take the crepe batter, pour it in over the top. Then I'm just going to use my hand to get the crepe nice and thin. And that'll just take seconds, and we're going to make 2 of these crepes. Beautiful. Came out nice. Oop. And again, see how it's separated on its own. You just need the pan nice and hot, and the crepe comes right off. That's going to be our first crepe. And we're going to get our second crepe. Again, same process. Just pour a little bit over the edge of the pan. Fill up about 1/4 of the pan. And then just roll the batter so that you get a nice thin crepe. And the beep, beep, beep. In this other pan, we're going to start the process for the blueberries and strawberry mixture. Again, a very simple procedure. All right. Now that we have the crepe mix all set and the crepes are all done, I'm going to prepare our blueberries and strawberry filling. Melt a little bit of butter. This crepe is done. Beautiful. All right, just going to slice up these strawberries, and we're not going to overcook these the fruit here. Just going to rough chop them. You want it to be chunky. You don't want it to be a puree or a paste or anything like that. You want to make a want to keep it so it's a really nice hearty filling for the middle of these crepes. Nice and fresh. Produce is looking good for the rough winter that we've had these days. Blueberries right in there with it. I'm going to put a little bit of my sugar glaze from right in there with it. And we're just going to soften up those that fruit in there, not vegetables. Nice color, got a little bit of sweetness, got the natural sweetness. As you can see, they're getting nice and glazed. Runaway blueberry. While I have a minute here, I want to give a nice shout out to the girls at Newton Country Day School. They've been great. They've really welcomed me with open arms there, and I love being there, and I love working for them and creating nice meals for them every day, and I hope to have a nice long relationship there with everybody, the staff and kids there. It's a great location, great building, beautiful building to work in, great people. All right, so that's about all we need to cook down for the fruit. Going to get our crepes ready here. Now it's just a matter of filling and rolling. Take a little bit of the filling in each one. Try to disperse it evenly. Very nice, very simple. Fold it over. Runaway blueberries. Got a beautiful white plate. Put these right onto the plate here. And again, I love this nice glaze in the morning. Better than a cup of coffee. And after hours of mixing our whipped cream, we finally got it to come out. So, I'm kidding. Nice dab of whipped cream. We can take these rogue blueberries, put them right on top. Nice and simple. That's a nice 10-minute meal. Beautiful breakfast. And we're going to come right back and we're going to make our corned beef and hash with some over easy eggs. And now we're going to enjoy some crepes. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back. Well, breakfast being my favorite meal of the day, one of my favorite things to do is go to New Jersey and eat in their diners. And my favorite meal in the diner is corned beef hash and eggs. I've been going to New Jersey for many years, and no matter what time of day we go to the diner, whether it's 2 in the afternoon or 2 in the morning or 7 in the morning, I always have the corned beef hash and eggs. Every diner makes it great down there, and it's just my favorite meal. It's filling, it's delicious, it's bad for you, it's everything you want in a breakfast. So what I'm going to create for you now is the corned beef hash, the way I like it made, and I'm going to make some home fried potatoes, and with 2 eggs over easy, because that's the only way to have eggs. All right, so let's start. I'm going to start with the home fried potatoes because they're going to take the longest. So I'm just going to take a nice red bliss potato, skin on, and cube them. If you see when I do the cut, I cut the one end off, put it aside. That way you have a nice flat bottom. You don't have to worry about the knife rolling over on you and cutting your thumb off. All right. Lots of oil. Basically pan frying these potatoes here, and these are just going to sit here while we go and create the corned beef hash. So a few of the things I like on my potatoes, obviously some pepper. I don't use a lot of salt in my cooking, and I'm not going to use them on my potatoes. And for color, I like the paprika. A little bit of garlic powder and real onions. We're going to get to the onions. We're going to add the onions later on in the process. We don't want them to get overcooked and burn and brown, so we're going to let those potatoes cook for about 5-7 minutes while we start up the corned beef hash. So once again, I'm going to start my pan, a little bit of oil. Drop the temp down a little bit. So I have the corned beef hash right here, the corned beef right here. This is a round cut for corned beef. Typically I like the brisket. I think it's a little more fatty, and I think with corned beef you want to have a nice fatty piece of meat for corned beef. That's where all the flavor comes from. So again, I'm just going to cut this up into a small dice. And during this taping here, we're nearing St. Patrick's Day. So corned beef hash is in high demand right now. Well, corned beef is in high demand. But this is a better way to prepare corned beef than boiling it to death. So I'm just going to start adding this corned beef to my pan here. That'll be enough for everybody here today. And again, I have another red bliss potato here. Now this time I'm going to cut this potato a little thinner. Much thinner slices. And again, I'm taking off one of the rounded ends. And I'm going to cut this just a little smaller. A smaller dice for the corned beef hash. And away goes a potato. Again, this is a small dice or a brunoise, small brunoise. Probably won't need all of this. You probably want to do like 1/3 of the beef and the rest, 1/3 of potatoes to the amount of beef that you have. And then of course, nothing better than onion. If my knife can get through the skin, there we go. Okay. So as you can see, just a little information on the produce. Just bought this onion today. You can see it's kind of starting to discolor, so this is becoming a little over-ripened here. So I'm going to lose the edges that are not too good. Not that they're bad to eat, but I like to keep things as fresh as possible. So we're going to use the best part of the onion here, which is the core. And again, we're going to go into a small dice. I'm going to reserve some of this for my home fries. We're going to do right there. And again, just about a handful right inside there. All right, potatoes are looking good. So there are a few more ingredients that we're going to put into our corned beef hash. Simple. Ketchup. Has a lot of flavor already. You can start with the tomato paste and season it, but you know what? Ketchup has everything you need already in it. It's also a good binder. It's going to help bind the corned beef and the potatoes all together. And again, just for a little extra flavor, I like putting some spicy brown mustard in there as well. Very nice. Just about 2 tablespoons of the ketchup, maybe one of the mustard. We're going to let this cook down. And we're going to add some pepper to taste. And once again, a little bit of paprika to get a little color. Ketchup is going to help that as well, give you a nice reddish color. Now you go to when you go to diners or anything like that, they usually have a puree of the corned beef. They'll really mince it up really small, so it's more of a pastier spread. But in reality, the best way to have the corned beef is nice and chunky. Get all your vegetables together with the potato. Oh, you can smell the flavors already. I say it every show. Somebody needs to invent smell-o-vision. I think it'd be a big hit. So that's going to cook down for just a few minutes. Our potatoes are looking good. They're starting to get brown. So now's a good time for the onions, and I like a little bigger cut on the onion here because onions in the home fries add some flavor. We're going to cook them down. Oh man, it's smelling good. So again, we've had 3. This is our 3rd real simple meal. 3 meals, all created within the 30-minute period by the magic of television, of course. But very easy at home. Hearty, filling meals. This can almost be used as a brunch. Corned beef hash is cooking nicely. Oh man, smells great. So with the corned beef, there's all variations. You can put any vegetable you want in here. You can throw some red pepper. You can put some garlic in there. This is a nice, basic, simple one. Again, ingredients that you can find at home and create in just a few short minutes. And that's cooking down nicely. Still getting used to my induction cookers here. I like fire. But here at Studio K, we make do with what we got. Alright, so I'm going to remove these potatoes. So now I can prepare my over easy eggs. Alright, put the rest there. Now I'm going to make my over easy eggs. My favorite breakfast food of all time is eggs. Nothing better. So I'm going to butter up the dish a little bit. Don't want our eggs to stick. 2 over easy eggs. Oh yeah. Corned beef hash is looking great. So again, cutting the potatoes nice and small will help them cook faster. As you know, potatoes are very dense. They take a while to cook. But as you can see, 5-7 minutes, you got a great, perfectly cooked home fry. So I know that these small diced potatoes, they're going to be done in no time. By the time my eggs are done, this hash should be done. Oh no. And here's what happens when the egg sticks. Here we go. Little flip. Beautiful. Alright. Put the corned beef hash on the plate. My over easy eggs on top of the hash. Well, as much as I love going to those New Jersey diners, I don't think they have too much on me. Here's another beautiful, easy breakfast. You see the beautiful color and the flavors of the corned beef hash, some beautiful home fries, some over easy eggs. Let's bring out the rest of our meals for the day. We had our raspberry stuffed crunchy French toast, our blueberry and strawberry crepe, which I'm going to top off with some more fresh whipped cream. And this is, got to make some room for this beauty. Here's some beautiful Studio K breakfasts for everybody to enjoy. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again here at Studio K at Foxborough Cable. Hope you give these recipes a try, and we'll see you again on Let's Cook with Mike Damasio. Have a nice day.